What is going on, guys? It's Treecko from editing. Forgot to say, if you like the video, make sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button, turn it blue, hit the bell, all notifications. Let's get right back into the video. How's it going, everybody? It's SaltyTreecko, and I figured I'd try something new today. Buffing Pokemon is something I've tried to do previously in my YouTube history, and it hasn't worked out very well, probably because the videos weren't very well put together. So I figured that instead of trying to do like one specific video, just going really deep into a Pokemon, figuring out its flaws and then fixing them, I'd just go run through a couple of Mons that I figured these Mons could use some buffs. Some of them are pretty obvious, some of them aren't. Just to get a little context on the background of this series, I am an avid False Swipe gaming enjoyer, and whenever I look at the competitive history of the Pokemon, usually it's one of two different things. Two different things. Either one, the Mon gets no love and it just languishes in unusability for the rest of its entire career, or two, occasionally Game Freak will, throw a one of the Mon like Swallow or Dodrio and give it a few buffs to help retain its viability. So the goal of this series, it might be a series, depends on how much you guys enjoy it, is to go through a couple of Pokemon that I think could use some buffs, try and buff them, just increase the viability just a little tiny bit, and I want to make sure that they retain their personality, because if you take a Mon and completely change it and make it feel like a completely different Mon, like what's the point? Also forgot to mention, today I am joined by the back of the Lord. If I turn around I will go blind. So, if we... oh, that's the wrong video capture screen. There we go, that's a little bit better. So today we're starting off with the most obvious one on the planet, Zarude. And Zarude is, don't get me wrong, Zarude's a great Mon. It has a lot of good traits. For example, it gets bulk up, it has great offensive power, and it has some good defensive utility and of course fantastic stats. The one thing really holding this Mon back from being a good usable Pokemon in OU is its ability. Leaf Guard is not good. Leaf Guard is a pretty horrible and useless ability. So looking at Zarude, I think this has obviously been talked about before, but I think Tough Claws is honestly a perfect ability for Zarude. I mean, just look at these things up there. I would not want to get scratched by those. So that is honestly the only change I would make to Zarude. I don't really feel it needs anything else. I feel with just one change it could become an actual powerhouse. Like it could run Bulk Up Life Orb. If you want, you can run Scarf with U-turn instead of Bulk Up. Have some extremely powerful U-turns. You can run, instead of CC, you can run Jungle Healing on the Life Orb set. You can do a lot of things with this Mon, just by giving it that one change. And Tough Claws, don't get me wrong, is a fantastic ability, and that's all you need. So moving on from Zarude, which is a Mon that's been talked about probably to death, I'm going to go to a Mon that's a little bit less talked about, and is clearly known for its power, which is Toxtricity. So the main flaws with Toxtricity are two separate things. One, it has absolutely zero defensive utility, and two, it's pretty slow and frail. And if we all know the Rampardos theorem, a Mon can be slow and frail, or slow or frail, but it cannot be both. If it's both, it's just bad. So, Toxtricity, its defensive weaknesses come from its typing, which is electric poison, and I think that I would not change this at all because I think it's extremely unique and definitely lines up with Toxtricity's personality. So the one thing we can fix is its speed. Base 75 speed is not really enough to be able to contend with a lot of the OU metagame. So I figured 85 would be a good change for its speed, to bump it up to be equal with Tapu Lele, because if a Mon that's an offensive Mon that can't outspeed Tapu Lele, that is embarrassing. Assuming it's max speed, of course, but having a lower base speed than Fini, or not Lele, Fini, my bad, Tapu Fini, that's kind of embarrassing. So, unfortunately, we can't really fix the fact that it has absolutely zero opportunities to switch in, but we can make it so that once it does get on the field, it is harder to get around because you can't just switch in a Mon that middling speed like Dragonite. So I think 85 or 90 would be a good change. Dragonite's actually a big matchup for this because it can switch in with Multiscale, eat a hit up, and then just EQ it right back and one hit KO it, it's gone. So 85, 90 speed, Toxtricity, be an absolute menace because much harder to switch in on, and yeah, just gets more chances to get in on the field. Alright, so next is Mudsdale. Another one that's been talked about quite a bit, but I personally love Mudsdale. I have a deep connection to it because it was my absolute demon mon back in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So, obvious change, Shore Up. Mudsdale, absolutely fantastic ability. Stamina is one of the best abilities in the entire game for a defensive mon. Raises its defense once whenever it's hit by any move, not even a physical move, just any move in general. So, Shore Up, absolute perfect synergy. This mon could absolutely contest with some of the defensive ground types like Hippo in the OU metagame. Even maybe be better than it at checking physical mons because it has a higher. I don't actually know if it's higher than Hippo's base phys def. I think it is, but then stamina obviously would help it out greatly for checking physical mons, and then it could shore up on them. Toxic. Basically, no physical mon unless it's like Urshifu Rapid Strike can beat this mon 1v1. It's just impossible. So with Shore Up, this thing could be an absolute demon, but it isn't, and that's why it's an NU. Next up is Dusknoir, and now we're going to start getting into the mons that I am changing a lot. So now we have Dusknoir, and oh my goodness, look at this. What the hell have I done to Dusknoir? So, the first, biggest, most obvious change is I gave it Guts, because similarly to Zarude, one of its biggest flaws is that Pressure and Frisk are just not good, useful abilities. Well, Pressure can be useful, but only on mons that are actually, good defensive mons, which Dusknoir is not. So I decided to give it Guts because I felt it would fit in with the mon. Also, I cannot obviously visually change this, but I figured that giving it Dark type would be a good idea too, because it struggles from the fact that it doesn't have any sort of dual stab, and while Dark and Ghost obviously do not complement each other very well offensively, having Stab Sucker Punch, I gave it Knockoff by the way too, that's just kind of a thing I decided to do, but Stab Sucker Punch I decided would be a great idea, because it does get Shadow Sneak already, but even with Stab, Sucker Punch is more powerful than Shadow Sneak, so I figured having Stab would be better. Also, it gets a lot more opportunities to switch in with the Dark type. Honestly, with Poltergeist, this mon could hit like a frickin' truck with Guts, because 100 base attack isn't too great. Back in the day, Gen 4, sure, I guess it's powerful, but Poltergeist was already the greatest gift this mon could have received in Generation 8, having an actually useful Ghost-type physical move, and I think with Guts combined with having that solid 100 attack stat could actually make this mon an absolute demon. I also gave it Drain Punch for being able to help Blissey because, I don't know, it's a Ghost-type. I figured it would be just generally nice, plus the Drain Punch being able to offset the damage from Flame Orb I figured would be pretty cool as well. So that's my Dusknoir changes, because I love that mon, but it sucks. Another mon that I love, but sucks, common theme here, is Sceptile. In this set, I'm so happy with this. I'm so happy with this set. It'd be so much fun. So, Mega Sceptile I thought was a really cool mon, but struggled from the fact that it did not have Draco Meteor. So, I did that. Also, it's Dragon type, another thing. All of the Gen 3 starters have some dual typing except Sceptile, so I figured that as long as because of the Mega giving it the Dragon type in Generation 6, I figured, why not help my boy Sceptile out, give it the Dragon type. Dragon type is fantastic on Sceptile because Dragon type defensively, it offers so many resistances for Sceptile. The only real drawback it has is not being able to switch on Fairy types, and Ice types obviously, but it couldn't do that anyway. So the set I concocted here was Nasty Plot. I don't know if giving it Nasty Plot is a great idea, because with Draco and Leaf Storm this mon, it might be a little bit unfair, except for the fact that you can just switch in on any single mon on the planet, so maybe Calm Mind. But this mon needs a boosting move, because the best boosting move it has right now for special is a Work Up, and Work Up, as we all know, is kinda shit. So Calm Mind would be okay, but I think Nasty Plot is better. Like, look at this mon. Look at inside his head. Do you think he's thinking nice thoughts in there? No, this mon's probably evil at heart. So I give it Leaf Storm, Draco, already Focus Blast, and, why not throw in Plot as well? Help it out. And then I give it a White Herb as well, because I think that this would be an absolutely insane set to be able to synergize with Unburden. So, with Plot, I figured you can Plot up, then you can get off a Stab Draco or Leaf Storm on something. Focus Blast is just really there for coverage. Your White Herb to restore your stats if you do it twice, or if you just want to switch in and Leaf Storm, it also triggers your Unburden. So this set could make Sceptile an actual good Pokemon for the first time in literally ever in OU, because this mon has never been good ever. I miss it when he was... Bring back Magus, man. Okay, next we have Wishiwashi, and Wishiwashi is a mon that could absolutely be a demon if it got one thing, which is instant recovery. The instant recovery I decided to give it was Heal Order, and I decided to give it Heal Order because similarly to Vespa Queen has the whole, you know, the bees come in and heal it thing. I figured that because Wishiwashi obviously is made up of a bunch of tiny little fish, like, it felt like that would be a cool idea. I didn't want to be boring and give it Recover or some dumb shit. So, I also gave it Earth Power, so this way it can run Ice Beam and also have the same ground coverage that Earthquake gives it. And this way it also can spec completely into special attack, and also go with the bulk. You can switch this to one of the defenses if you want to have it specifically be a better defensive check. This also lets it run Life Orb, because normally Life Orb, while the power is actually nice, obviously, because 140, both attack and special attack, that's powerful. Life Orb would complement that very well. But with Schooling, if it comes down to 1/4 HP, then it's literally useless. So any chip on this mon is not good, but now that it actually is able to recover HP, I think it could potentially be really good. Even all the way up in OU, because there's not too many offensive waters that actually use their special attack stat. So that's going to be it for today's video, I suppose. Let me know how you thought of it. If you want to see more, any suggestions for the Pokemon I did buff, any Pokemon you want to see me buff in the future. Any sort of feedback is, as always, lovely. So make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I forgot to say that in the intro. Why didn't I do that? I'm going to edit that back in. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below any suggestions, and thank you for watching. See you guys later.